Here we've got a little horse who rushes off on the ground, and I'm going to show you some techniques to use on the ground to stop your horse from rushing off when you ride them. Okay, you need to fix it on if they're doing it on the ground, they're going to do it when you ride them. So there's a few techniques here I'm just going to show you to stop a horse that's from rushing. Okay, which is just running off. Okay, what he does, this is a kid's pony, and it's supposed to be. It's not going to be after my recommendations, but what it does is it runs off and then it jams up and stops. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever ridden a horse like that. Sometimes after they've done that and they've realised they can't run off, they start bucking. So we don't want any of that going on. I'm going to do a bit of groundwork with this horse and get him to where he doesn't rush off anymore. Okay, still no good for a kid's pony. Don't breed them, because the amount of work that's got to go into fixing a horse like this, most people don't want to pay for. I just start on this short range so you can see what he does. So he's just sort of jammed up there. So I'll ask him forward. It runs off, runs into the end of the halter. Now here I'm trying to get him to go forward and he's sort of going sideways. Okay, so that's what he does short range, just sort of going sideways instead of going forward. I just want him to go forward. Forward, there we go. When he goes forward, I give him a bit of release, just so he knows that's a good thing. That means a little bit less pressure on the lead rope. Okay, so that's the problem. I'm going to put him on a long rope now so you can see it stands out even more. Just do this other side. This is going much better than what it was a few minutes ago. Before I thought I better go get the camera because I think people might need to learn something from this. So this is actually an improvement. But still he's out of shape when he's going forward. And he does that little rush off there. You see that little scooty thing? Scare the bejeebers out of the kids. Not a kid's pony. These sort of things, you know, if you're going to be breeding kids' ponies, they need to be handled from when they're young, desensitised, learnt the respect for personal space, and have good DNA. Just because a horse is small doesn't make it a kid's pony. Okay, let's go on 22-foot rope. I'm going to use a thing here called a spiral, because what's missing in this horse when it rushes off, it braces up through the body and loses its lateral flexion. So here, it's not going too bad. I'm going to spiral it in, okay? So I'm going to reach down the rope, put some yield towards the hind, ask for a bit of sideways. Good, and it runs off again. Reach down, a little bit of sideways. Reach down, a little bit of sideways, and you can see there it's just trying to run off as I'm asking it in. I need to keep that lateral softness in the horse. You keep that in there, that'll help control the speed, so it won't blast off. Just send him off again. Keep going. So he sort of runs off and then he stops. He's actually improved a bit, but so they're doing that sort of thing. Runs off, stops and looks at me. Runs off, stops and looks at me. Runs off. That's going to make for an interesting ride. So we're going to spiral him. See how he runs off? Okay. He's slowed up a fair bit from what he was a minute ago, from before we started the camera, but I hope you guys still understand the technique I'm trying to teach you here, and give it a go. If you've got a horse who rushes off, okay, reach down, yield his hind, or just asking him to go sideways, not just stop. There, he's running off again. Sideways to a stop. Good. I'll do this a few times until I can get that smooth. And then I could do that when I rode him as well, and work on his transitions. And if he rushes off, just flex him a little bit and bring him down to a smaller circle. So flex him by using your inside leg. Keep coming, buddy. Good boy. Yeah, you don't need to run off. Just go gentle. I'm going to do this until I get a nice slow trot, and to where he can curve in nicely. We'll just keep it rolling, Neville, in case something interesting happens, but I'm just going to practice here for a little while. Just see he's starting to get the hang of it now. When he went to rush off, I just did a little bit of a flex on him. And you could do the same when you ride him, just use your inside rein and flex him a little to steady him back down. So he's getting a bit calmer here now. That's getting better. See if I can get him a bit slower so you guys can see it a bit clearer. A little bit smaller circle, a little bit of flex with the inside rein. He's a bit stuck there. There we go. Even come down a transition, that's nice. I'll take him up a transition. Down a transition. Good. That's getting better, isn't it? Starting to lower his head, starting to relax in his forward. Okay, so we just use that spiral to soften him laterally, and now that he's going along on the circle, he's going nice. If he gets a little bit rushy, use my inside rein, push my energy towards his middle, which laterally flexes him, softens him, calmed him back down. We can do the same when we ride, just use your inside rein. Even if you have to, use your inside leg and push him to the outside a little to relax him. Okay, you've got to teach him this stuff on the ground first, it's much better. Come on in, mate. I hope that helps you out. This a lot of times people who have a horse that rushes off too much, they just let it go until it slows down, but that doesn't teach the horse anything. You know, it might, you know, as it's rushing off, it's learning. So if you can keep it calm, keep it thinking, you'll have a nice, calm thinking horse. That's what we want. That's how we do it at Quantum Savvy.